Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Daniel Cormier had a message for Paulo Costa in a recent YouTube video. DC believes that Costa should take on Khamzat Chimaev in the last fight of his contract. Here's what Cormier had to say. Paulo Costa is about done with his UFC contract. The UFC will give you a fight to make you prove why we should pay you if you're at the end. Because if Paulo Costa goes and beats Khamzat Chimaev, he might get anything he wants. So for him, it makes sense. But if he gets beat and wiped out, now what? That bargaining power is a little bit less. Do you still kind of move the needle a little bit? Yeah, but imagine how much more you would move the needle if you're the first guy to beat Khamzat Chimaev and hopefully beat him impressively. Then you hold all the chips. When I say chips, I mean the dollars, baby. What do you guys think about DC's comments? Would you like to see a fight between Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev? And if so, who do you think walks away with the win? Let us know your opinion in the comment section. Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch discussed the possibility of Aljamain Sterling moving up to 145. Here's what the pair had to say.
And it could be completely capped, but he said after I beat up Henry, I'm going to 45. That's crazy.
He ain't going to 45.
I don't think so either. I mean, it seems like he trolls all the time, but he could. Dude, if he walks around 175 pounds,
yeah, I mean,
40 pounds is another level. 30 pounds is another level. 30 pounds is a load.
So am I champ just cause? Number one contender.
Well, I'm curious to what would happen if Aljo did beat Henry, and then what's Henry do? And now there's a vacant title.
Well, it doesn't matter what Henry does. He loses. He's going to be as irrelevant as he is now.
There's a vacant title, and it could be for the vacant title winner of Chito versus Corey versus you.
Yeah,
whoa,
that seems,
it's possible.
Yeah,
especially if Aljo's serious.
Chito Vera has come out and blasted fighters such as Aljamain Sterling, who cut large amounts of weight for their fights, and calls it cheating. Cutting that much weight is cheating to me, because you want to be bigger and stronger. Because he doesn't really hurt anybody, but he makes you carry his weight, takes you down. I'm 155 pounds in or out of camp. I feel like that's a natural 135 pounder. And I'm still thinking I cut a ton of weight because 20 pounds is a lot. He weighs like 170 or 180 when he's eating who knows what. Yeah, you can make the weight, but that's why he's been KO'd unconscious, because of the amount of weight he cuts. If you touch him, he might go down. Chito then went on to speak about the possibility of getting a title shot. 1000%, the guys that I've been beating are either former world champions or top 5 guys. Probably for myself, I have a little longer road. At the end of the day, life is hard for everybody, but I really believe with a solid win on this guy, I'm fighting for the belt, regardless of all this hype. Who has the belt, who has more views, who has less. It doesn't matter. If you go in there and put the guy's lights out, the views come your way. So I'm just plugging away. Everything is a matter of they all start playing with dates and they start holding positions. That's why when they called me for this fight, I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I don't see it as a negative thing. I don't see it as a going backwards thing. It's just another day in the office, putting in more reps and getting more experience. Chael Sonnen had this to say about recent comments made by John Anik concerning the recent poor judging in UFC fights. Here's the clip.
John Anik has taken on a role. John made an interesting comment. He said, it was a two-part comment. He said, first off, I have never seen a time in MMA where the judging has been so, I can't remember the last word, but it meant like inconsistent. I don't think he called him straight up bad. I don't think he called it horrific. I don't even think he called it wrong, but it was a word that needs review. Okay, great. And then he said, I look forward to being in Vegas next year and having some conversations. I just want to explain to you guys what that means. Anik never really calls anyone out. He doesn't do it by name. He does it in a very appropriate manner. And it also comes through with a real sincerity of why he's doing it all. Now, what do you do with judging, guys? Is judging worse, more horrific, inconsistent? Is this a bad era of MMA? Has it been an interesting month? Right? Is it just something that's more topical? And I'm just asking the question because it's very tough. Look, I can go back to this weekend. It was really hard to judge.
Aljamain Sterling had this to say when asked about why he responds to negative comments he receives on social media. I don't care what people say, but I care to defend my freedom and ability to tell them that they're wrong. So the fact that you're able to tell me this, and I have the freedom and luxury to do that, I go out of my way to entertain these guys when I could just leave it alone and ghost it. That's how it really is. I think it's the first Peter Yan fight. I feel like that one weird day of a performance because I messed up my rehydration and stopped fueling my body where it felt like I was still cutting weight. I literally barely ate anything. I had 2 pancakes and 2 eggs, and I hate saying this because it sounds stupid to say out loud, and every time I say it, I feel like a donkey, I really do. But the facts are the facts, and that's why I performed the way I did. And I think people have just got that image of me in their heads and they can't get it out. So for me to beat Yan the second time, people were saying Yan by KO, Yan by anything he wants, and then I go out there and do that to him. They can't wrap their heads around the fact that this guy just did a complete 180 and dominated a guy who was supposed to win by anything he wanted. I think because of that first fight, people are still looking at me in that light, and they're saying I've had the luckiest title run. Maybe I should just stop responding to these guys and go dark. What fun would that be though? I enjoy the banter going back and forth. As long as I'm not getting emotionally riled up where I'm losing sleep at night and it's harming my performances in training, it's not doing anybody any harm. So it's like, enjoy it. Why do people get so butthurt that I respond? I didn't get here by accident. I fought all the toughest guys. I think people are eventually going to have to come around regardless, and whether they do or not, I'm still going to defend myself. Donald Cerrone has recently come out and said that if a boxing match against Jake Paul is ever put on the table for him, he would probably accept it. Here's the clip.
The Jake Paul phenomenon is kind of crazy. It's got everybody calling him out. Kind of like the big Conor push, you know what I mean? That's what I feel like is happening with Jake Paul. Everyone's wondering, and I don't see why they wouldn't, because that's a big money fight. But you can't take away, like everyone's saying those are like rigged fights. I think he's hitting hard. You know what I mean? I really do think those are legitimate shots and strikes, and he's been practicing boxing and for the show, and he's whipping their asses. So it's, I don't think that there's any like mishype, you know. I think there's he's got something going on there. Would I like to fight him? Of course. How could I say no to millions of dollars? So I would definitely go out there and do it, but I'm not sitting over here saying, Jake, you're a YouTuber, ain't worth blah blah blah. Nah, man, you're making money, make the money, and if you want to throw some money my way, I'm with you.
Jared Cannonier joins the Schmo to discuss what's next for him in 2023.
We haven't had the official announcement to get the rematch between Pereira and Israel Adesanya. You're right there in the mix. We don't know what's next for you, the Killer Gorilla, because they're giving a lot of up-and-coming guys some opportunities. Like Driscus Duplessis, he's now fighting Derek Brunson.
Yeah, a lot of people getting matched up, and we're just sitting here at the top with, you know, watching our empty hands, you know, I guess. But who knows what's going to happen. I'm sure the UFC is going to start releasing some information, start making some matches. Things will get rolling again, for sure.
Henry Cejudo gave his opinion on who Khamzat Chimaev should face before he's considered for a middleweight title shot. Here's a clip.
Who do you think makes sense to fight Shavkat?
That's a good question. Honestly, I think if Bo Nickel's healthy, put him in there. I think Bo is the type of guy that'll go in there and literally probably and pull the upset. You know, his styles make fights. I think his wrestling is great, but at 170 pounds, I would just throw in Kevin Holland, honestly, the more I think about it.
But he just had surgery.
Oh, he did. So 77.
I know a lot of fans want to see him fight Khamzat, but a lot of them are saying, why not, you know, later on in both their careers when they can possibly fight for the belt?
Yeah, you want to build them because you don't want to. I mean, I get that, but I mean that weight division stacked. He's either gonna have to go through him or Kobe, so it's gonna be the exact same thing. So I wouldn't mind seeing Khamzat step up. He's talking about he needs a challenge. Nobody wants to fight him. There you have it. You know, it takes place in about a few weeks. So I think that's a great fight.
And for Khamzat, because right now it looks like his coach wants him to fight at 185 and possibly for that title, but do you think that makes sense? Or what do you think he has to do?
If I gotta go back and if I have to challenge being a 2-division champ and I have to go at 135 pounds, which I really want at 145, if I have to do that, then Khamzat needs to fight a Robert Whittaker or a Paulo Borrachinha before he gets a shot at 185 pounds.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.